Hello and welcome to this series of videos where I talk about blended learning and how to use some of the digital tools that are at your disposal and to maximize the learning of your students in a blended learning situation and how to use them in the lesson while you also do more other, I would say, more traditional activities. And today we're going to talk about Flippity again, but different from video 2 that we were talking about. Today I'm going to talk about the randomizer, which I think is great for MFL. So as you know, when you go to Flippity, you got different options. Okay, the one I'm talking about is the randomizer, and as you know, Flippity works with some with spreadsheets, basically not spreadsheets, Google Sheets, basically. So you do need to have a Google account, and this is basically where what it works like for the randomizer. You will get different columns in here, and you put this. You need to create this. This is what a sentence builder. So for example, from time to time, in this particular case, I'm using an infinitive because that's what I want to. But the kids will be able to say, depending on whatever comes up, they will have to say something in the present, past, or the future. So and then there is food, and there's a reason why they have, or they will have, or they had that particular piece of food. Okay, so that's basically the idea. Once you create it, what you get is you get this link. Before, after creating, you need to publish you go to file, and in file you need to go to publish to the web. Otherwise it won't work. Once you publish it to the web, it will create this link and that is the link that you work with. And basically what I do is that I share that in OneNote, which is my vehicle with the students. So how do I use this in the lessons? Well, I could spend a whole lesson just with a sentence builder, just like this. For this particular activity, the kids don't need a computer in the lesson. So this is you in front of them with your big whiteboard. That's what we do. It's very simple. This is how it works. There's been a lot of tutorials on how to do this, and a lot of people that use this really well in the MFL Twitterati. So basically you end up with some possibilities. In this case, the kids will have to say in Spanish, yesterday for breakfast I had a cheese sandwich, although I would say here rather because although it has too much fat. Okay, so the idea is that we'll have to create sentences. As you can see, cheese sandwich for breakfast is not ideal. So the first thing I would do in the lesson, okay, let's see, translate it. So I would do this with whiteboards again. So everybody will be showing the sentence with the whiteboards, okay? So that's the first thing I would do. Would go for about 10-15 minutes with whiteboards translating this. Of course, I would be telling the kids, okay, it's yesterday. ¿Cómo se dice yesterday? Ayer. Okay, what tense do we need? Okay, the past tense. What past tense do we need? The two past tenses that I used to or I did. I did. Why then no I used to? Okay, because that would be every day. So this is the kind of things I would be eliciting from my students while they are writing the sentence. We will do it, and then I would definitely, this particular says, a cheese sandwich, that doesn't make sense. Can we get rid of that in the board? And can you tell me something that you actually had for breakfast yesterday? And maybe a reason on why you had it. So you can change in your whiteboard food and reason. So you can see now the manipulation, and you can see from that sentence all the grammar that we talked about. You can see as well basically how I'm practicing new vocab and how I'm practicing new reasons as well. Okay, so that's number one. Let's do another one. Number two. Okay, so this one, tomorrow to eat a chocolate ice cream. It is rich in proteins. Okay, so tomorrow, what tense do I need now? Future tense. So everybody write it down. Chocolate ice cream because it is rich in proteins. Okay, that's not maybe a very good reason, but anyway, let's write this again. Can we write another good reason to eat and eat chocolate rather than it's rich in proteins? And this is basically the idea, and I would have spent about 10-15 minutes doing this. After doing that, what I will do is I will do it orderly. So then we will go through all these things, but now you're not doing it in writing, probably with a lot of different possibilities. Now I want you to say it orderly. So I want you to put your hands up. If you don't want to put your hand up in the lessons, do it mentally. But if you put your hand up and your question is good, you get a reward. And as well with the sentence builders, as I was saying in other videos, every 3 or 4 answers are right, the kids keep a tally, and they will get a reward at the end, which would be a merit. And that really it works for me to make even the most reluctant students to actually give it a go. And this works all the way from really high ability kids to very low ability kids. Because with a low ability kids, I may already give them the verb, okay, I may do something different, or they just, oh, I could have these sentences in Spanish first, okay, and then they write it in English. So there are a lot of different possibilities here. How to exploit this even more? Okay, because they do have an URL. What I will do is I will share that with them in my OneNote, which is my vehicle to share all the resources when you're doing blended learning, as you've heard me say so many times. And once they go there, they can practice what we've done, either in the same lesson, in another lesson, could be the starter activity. You're going to do what we've been doing it with your pair. You're going to be playing with your partner, and you're going to be saying the sentences. A little bit as if it was a well names activity. And you're going to be doing this while you're playing. I normally do piedra, papel, tijera if you want to. Again, you don't need to, okay? So that's another way to maximize it. Another way to maximize it even further, because you're sharing the URL, then you're gonna, for homework, okay, you're gonna take the URL and you're gonna create sentences. The sentences we've been doing, we're doing the whiteboards, you're gonna do them now in your book or in OneNote. And when a sentence doesn't make sense, you're gonna change it. Okay, so it makes sense. There's no point in writing something that doesn't make sense, but you will need to change it to make it sense. And remember, although it says reason, if the reason is not good, you also could say although, aunque, or however. Okay, and you may want to use as well, and for the ones that are really good, you may extend these sentences. So that's another way of doing it. How can we maximize this even more? With an idea from Mike Elliott, which I think is great, because you can actually mix up or up smashing using Flippity with Flipgrid, and I'm going to show you how. So in Flipgrid, you're familiar with Flipgrid. You log on as an educator. You can create, what I do is I create classes, and within your classes you can create basically topics to talk about. So imagine this one is about La Cuarentena. I don't have any responses in that one yet, because okay, so this is about the lockdown. Imagine this is about food. Okay, so what I want the students will have to record a response. It's not going to work now because I'm using my camera for this video, but I think you do get the idea. They go to record the video. Of course, it says my camera is a mic and working, but if they were working, okay, in here, they would have an option that says a screen sharing, which means that when they're recording themselves, instead of being the face, the Flipgrid, like Loom is doing with this video, will share, basically, will record whatever is in the screen. So if they click on that, and then, because they do have the tab, they come to the randomizer like this, what they're doing now, what they can do is basically what we do with Loom. They can then come up with a sentence, and they are creating a video where they are actively translating the sentence into Spanish. You can see this is quite difficult to do actually. Okay, their face won't come up, it won't be just a screen, okay, and their voice. So I can tell them, okay, you're going to be doing this for about 5-10 minutes. How many sentences can you translate? And remember, you're going to do it orally. But remember that you need to be careful to use the right correct ending. If it's tomorrow, you need few to 10. So there will be instructions on how to do this particular piece of homework. But you can see how powerful it is, because it's about being spontaneous, on the go, and then you need to record yourself. Okay, but remember, they would have been doing a lot of practice with this, maybe 1 or 2 lessons, 3 lessons on all this, and they would have had a whole lessons with whiteboards, orderly, with a partner. So when they, maybe another prep where they did it in writing, and maybe a second prep when they do it orderly. So what I'm doing here is structuring a spontaneity. This is how I call it. What I'm doing is I'm going to tell them, in order for spontaneity to happen, I need to do something. I need to plan it. And that's exactly what I'm doing it. And this is one that some of the uses that we use basically with Flippity. So, and with the randomizer. So as you can see, you could have a whole lesson in this with sentence builders or writing orally, in pairs, then homework, and actually 2 homeworks, one in writing and a more difficult one orally. Of course, and I forgot, if you had all these sentences in Spanish, Okay, this would be a wonderful reading activity. Okay, a wonderful reading activity, because when in Flipgrid, because what they will have to do, imagine that instead of the verb you write all these in one tense, and the only thing you can ask the kids is, can you read the sentences that come up? And if the sentence doesn't make sense, then change it. So that would be great for pronunciation. You can actually listen to it, and in Flipgrid, once you listen to it, you can give direct feedback to the students as well, which I think is great. So hopefully you found that useful. Bye.